What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the BinPodcast. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing our NBA playoff predictions and award predictions. And also, we'll probably be giving some takes here too today, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get into that, we will not be joined by two of our other co-hosts, B Hub and LA Faithful, or Isaiah. Um, Isaiah, or known as LA Faithful, got sick. We don't know, but he called me on the phone like an hour ago, or I called him, whatever, and he sounds dead. So, and B Hub, he couldn't make it today either. So, me and Hayden are gonna be giving our predictions and stuff. So, make sure you guys enjoy it. Hit the like button and stuff like that, and let's get into it, man. But let's introduce our co-host today, Cheesy B. What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You want to know the worst part about wearing a white shirt? I don't trust myself with anything that's not clear, like drinking wise. So we're stuck drinking water.
Hey, water's the way, bro. Water's the way.
Yes, you gotta stay hydrated.
But today, Hayden,
If I get this on my shirt, I'm gonna be pissed because this is the other thing I got to drink.
that's tough.
It's like
But today, Hayden, we'll be giving our playoff predictions. But we had to talk about the play-in, man. It's wrapped up here. So the Timberwolves gets the 7th seed in the West. The Pelicans get the 8th seed in the West. And in the Eastern Conference, the Nets get the 7th seed and the Hawks get the 8th seed. So what you think about the play-in real quick before we go into our predictions?
boring and good.
Mm.
You had a couple games that were like blowouts, like the Cavs and Nets, which I'm not surprised about.
The Hornets and Bucks.
Yeah, like you had a couple blowout games, but otherwise it's good. Like I think how they have the playoff and play-ins now is perfect. You have 4 play-in teams, rest playoffs, because it makes it more exciting. Because like, imagine if it's possible we can have that Cinderella run from a 10th seed.
It's kind of like that in March Madness. Like, it's a one-game scenario, kind
And
of.
we get more playoff basketball, too.
Mm-hmm.
I like the games, though. Shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans, who did not look like a good team until they got C.J. McCollum. The pieces started to fall with Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, all that beauty. And then shout out again to the T-Wolves. Not my T-Wolves, but my West team. I called the take being right, having them the 7th seed. Shout out to the Timberwolves.
100%. And I like the play-in too. The Hawks handled business. Good job by them. But the Pelicans, man, they came in and they won back-to-back games. They were ready. They were prepared. And like you said, man, when the C.J. McCollum trade happened, the team just changed, bro. They found new life. Good coaching by them too as well. So
isn't that a new head coach? Like first?
Yes, Willie Green. So shout out to him. But let's get into our playoff predictions. Let's get into one of the play-in teams, the 8th seed Atlanta Hawks. They'll be going up against the 1 seed Miami Heat. Who you got for that playoff matchup?
This matchup is going to be closer than what people think. Oh, I had a attack for a minute. But this is going to be closer than what people think. I think Atlanta's going to keep it close. I think they're going to keep it competitive. I still have Miami winning here in 6. Because both of these teams, it's not like Miami facing against a bigger sized team. The Hawks are not the biggest sized team. They're both equal in like size wise. But the thing is with the Heat, they offer more like stars. They have a better bench. They have a better like team overall than the Atlanta Hawks. But the Hawks are still a good team. They were in that conference championship game last year for a reason. And they took the Bucks to 6 for a reason last year. So they're not going to go down without a fight. And Trae Young, he's definitely not going down without a fight, because he was counted out last year in all the playoff series, and he made the Knicks hit his bitch. He beat you guys. He took
Didn't count. What?
Didn't count. That's so. It did now. Okay, but us to 6. Like, he does not back down from a fight, and I love the mentality Trae Young has.
Mm-hmm. So you got winning how many games?
Miami in 6.
Yeah, and I have to agree. I mean, Miami, I think they're a good enough team, but I did say, man, the Hawks are going to give the Heat a problem because Trae Young does not back down from a fight. He shows up when his team needs him most in clutch situations. He shows it each and every time he gets in clutch situations. But I think the Heat are just a little bit better. I mean, you got Jimmy and Bam, guys who've been to a championship, Kyle Lowry, who's won a championship, PJ Tucker, who's won a championship. You got a lot of experience on this team.
Wow.
The head coach has won championships. Like it's just too much playoff and championship experience for the Hawks. Trae Young, as great as he is, I think 6 games is the most that he can take them, and I think he will. I think he'll do it. So I have Miami advancing to
I'm not
the
gonna
second
deny that.
round.
He could do 7.
All right,
You
here.
wanna know what I'm thinking that I'm gonna make on TikTok?
What?
You know that there was a TikTok last year that said, "Yeah, Philly's good," and it's like with Embiid like celebrating, but they ain't ready for this motherfucker. And it's Trae Young. I'm going to do that with the Heat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I'm ready, dude. I might stream a couple of these games. I don't know.
Okay.
I want to stream more than just the Bucks for the playoffs.
Hey, go check out our channels, like in the
I'm
description.
going to do every single Bucks one, but I want to do more.
Yeah, check out our channel links down below in the description if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
But let's move on here. We got Brooklyn, the 7th seed, versus Boston, the 2 seed. This is gonna be a good one. The red hot Celtic win.
Matchup of last year.
But it's the other way around, Hayden.
Yes.
Now the Celtics are the 2 seed, and the Nets are the 7th seed. So
how
who you got?
You know, if you told me these two teams were gonna be playing again in the first round, I'll say, oh, the Nets are the 2 seed and the Celtics are the 7th seed then. But no, this might become a rivalry,
Especially with Kyrie in Boston.
Kyrie in Boston. At least it'll be a rivalry until Kyrie leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever Kyrie goes, whenever he faces Boston, it's going to be a rivalry.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
They're going to hate him.
This is a good game. Last year, the Nets won in 5. But in one of those games that Boston won, they did show a flaw in this Nets team. The flaw is defense. And this team is a great scoring team. You got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Robert Williams, who's coming off a great year, Marcus Smart, who's playing better. You added Derek White, right?
Derek White.
I get him and Kobe White confused all the time. The names are so similar. Speaking of Kobe White, that'll be next. But you got KD, Kyrie. Ben might play a few. Game 4, I believe. He could.
Game 4, 5, or 6, he could play.
I think. I feel like the thing is with this, when Ben plays, the chemistry is not going to be there. It's.
Okay.
Like, he's still a great defender, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA behind Drew Holiday, of course.
Okay.
But you also got a defensive player of the year on that team in Marcus Smart.
Yeah. So who you going with? Who's your final pick?
Boston has home court advantage.
Okay.
And I gotta go Boston because of that. Like,
how many games?
7.
I thought this was gonna be where I was different than you. I thought you was gonna go Brooklyn. I'm gonna go Boston at 7 as well. Now I could 100% see Brooklyn winning this game. Like it's definitely possible, but when you look at it, I don't know. It's so close. Obviously, KD and Kyrie are a better duo than Brown and Tatum. But look at the supporting cast and look at the team around those guys. You got Derek White, Marcus Smart. Those are great role players. Grant Williams, people are not talking about him. He's been playing good this year. Al Horford's a playoff experience type guy. Yes, he's very old, but he still has the experience. But when you look at the supporting cast of the Nets, if Ben Simmons plays, that's cool. You got Seth Curry, who's cool, but Marcus Smart, I'll take him on both sides of the ball. Then Seth Curry is just one side of the ball. And then, I mean, you got Bruce Brown. I mean, he's cool, but Derek White, I think, will be more impactful this series. So I'm not only looking at the stars, I'm looking at the coaching, which I think Boston has a better coaching, and I'm looking at the team around Boston Stars compared to the team around Brooklyn Stars. And the fact that Boston plays way better defense, they can put up similar offensive numbers to the Brooklyn Nets. I'm gonna take Boston. I can see Brooklyn winning. KD is that guy, one of my favorite players in the league. Kyrie is special. I'm gonna still go with Boston in 7 though.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next series. I'm gonna let you go last on this series. It is the Chicago Bulls versus Hayden's Milwaukee Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks in 5. I'm gonna go with the Bucks in 5. Let me just say it right here. The Bulls, they before the All Star break, they played well. They played very, very well. They started off, I believe, a top 3, top 4 seed before the All Star break.
At one point.
Yep, they were the 1 seed in the East for a few games. They were playing very good basketball, but after that All-Star break, things started to collapse. You see the Lonzo Ball injury. I'm sorry that it happened, but they just seemed to, as soon as the Lonzo injury, the Caruso injury happened, and obviously Caruso did end up coming back eventually, but once those injuries happened, they just seemed to not recover after that. I mean, DeRozan, he was still playing at a very, very high level, but it wasn't enough for the Bulls to win, and he'd have some off nights. Honestly, Levine this year, he's been solid, but certain moments he just hasn't looked the same. I don't know if it's because he's dealing with some injuries or is he just, I don't know. He just hasn't looked all the same as he usually does in the second, especially the second half of the season. Losing Lonzo and Caruso for a stretch of games, like I said, it just hurt. And then when you look at Nikola Vucevic, he's inconsistent. He's a great player. I like when he's at his best. I like what he can bring to the table, but he's not inconsistent this year, and his defense isn't the greatest. And when you look at the Bucks, you're going to need defense inside the paint, or because even if you have that, you're not going to stop Giannis. But at least you can stop him, maybe 1 or 2 possessions if you have good defense. You're not going to have that if you're Chicago because Vucevic, Tristan Thompson, those guys are not going to be able to guard what Giannis can do. Lopez, a stretch big, he can pull a 3. He can even last year in the playoffs, he was getting inside, playing like an actual center, and he can play defense. But I'm gonna let you go last on this because I know it's your Bucks team. But before you go, the reason why the Bucks in 5 is because they got Giannis. Obviously, we already know. But when you look at that defense of Drew Holiday, that's going to be giving Zach LaVine problems. You look at Middleton, who at certain moments in the playoffs last year elevated himself. When you look at Bobby Portis, who's a very good spark plug, and he can do great things off the bench. When you look at Pat Connaughton, not the greatest role player, but he gets it done in the minutes he does play. So when I look at the Bucks team, it's just way better than the Bulls team right now. And I got to give credit. One more thing. I got to give credit to Budenholzer. He's elevated his coaching over the last few years. When he first started coaching the Bucks, I was not a Budenholzer believer. But he's been so much better over the last 2 years. I take him over Billy Donovan, the Bulls coach. I think the Bucks win in 5, but what do you think? And go watch his video as well. He breaks it down even more than he probably will too.
I'm not going to do too much, but I'll break down a little bit. If you want to see my I do full-on breakdowns for every single matchup I have the Bucks playing. So go watch the video. I'm not going to do it for here because I don't want to spoil the video. But you mentioned Mike Budenholzer. I want to start off with that. You mentioned how, bro, he gave me heart attacks the last 3 years, and we're in year 4. Even last year in the playoffs, I had heart attacks with him. He was more carried by Giannis, but this year, he's been playing better than his coach of the year. He's been coaching way better than his coach of the year award. He was coaching. This is probably his best coaching year, and I think that finals run had something to do with it. But I want to mention something.
Okay.
Last time we played the Bulls, Brook Lopez had 27 points.
Okay.
And in that game too, Giannis really didn't play much because we kept him in so he doesn't get tired or whatever. But we didn't give him a lot of minutes because he was battling an injury, and we blew him out. Giannis had a total of 12 points. Lopez went off. Holiday went off. Milton went off. It's basically, like I mentioned in the Miami one, it is the size difference that's huge. Because shout out to a good friend of the podcast, Sports Fury. I got this point from him, and I was like, he's right. The Bulls are more of a small ball team, and they're facing we both can agree, they're facing more of a bully ball type big man team in the Milwaukee Bucks. Because you got Giannis, you got Lopez, you got Bobby Portis, Serge Ibaka as our power forwards and centers. Those are not small people. Going up against Vucevic, Tristan Thompson, and I forgot the other guy.
I think Javonte Green is going to be playing some power forward minutes.
There's a huge size difference. And I got the Bucks in 5.
I agree. All right, next series.
How they will go against Levine and Dumont. Whoever's going off more.
Yep. Next series, Hayden. Now, I want to say this. A lot of people are anticipating it, so before I let you take it on, this is apparently, I didn't think it was that big of a series, but people I've talked to, some great friends of mine, everyone's looking forward to this series. They think this could be one of the best series in the first round.
I don't.
And it's going to be the Sixers and Raptors. Who you got? And I'll go last because I was a Sixers fan.
You know, this Raptor team is probably, in the East, the team I do not know the most about out of everyone else. So, they're a good team, don't get me wrong. This is going to be a close series. I think it's going to be decided in 6. And I got Philly.
Okay.
Because you got Scotty Barnes, right? Scotty Barnes, you got Serge Ibaka. Pascal Siakam. Is Van Vliet going to play?
Van Vliet. Yep, he's cool. He's going to play. Yep. Okay. The last time he played against us, he was resting, but he's good.
Okay. But you got some good guys there. And I think it's going to go to 6 for one reason. Doc Rivers.
Okay.
It's going to be his coaching.
Here's the thing. I think this series, if Doc Rivers wasn't our coach, I think the Sixers could win this series in 5 because of the fact I feel like we are the more talented team.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at Embiid, what Harden could possibly bring, Tyrese Maxey's ascendance, Tobias Harris can provide us some things, George Yang has been showing up on the bench. Like, we have a very talented team, especially our starting 5 is a very good starting 5. The Raptors have a good team, but I just think we have Embiid, who's a superstar, Harden, who a lot still consider a superstar. Like, you have basically 2 stars on your team. And no disrespect to Van Vliet, who was an all-star this year. No disrespect to Siakam. But I just think the Sixers are a more talented team. Yeah. I got us winning at 6 because I think Doc Rivers is going to get completely out-coached. But when you look at Joel Embiid, this man's on a mission, bro. This man's on a mission. I mean, he led the league in scoring this year, bro. Averaged 30 points per game. Led the league in scoring. And he did it all this year from the three-point line, from the mid-range, in the paint, defensively. Has gotten better at passing as well. You got Harden. If he is going to be at his best, he can be this series. He can give us he's been consistently giving us double-digit assist games. If he can just add an efficient 25 points per game to that, that's going to be key for us. And the biggest thing is going to be Doc Rivers. He's going to keep the Raptors in this series for a little bit longer than I would like. And that's where I do see a lot of people saying this is going to be a close series because of the coaching. But I just don't know if Siakam, Van Vliet, and a young Scotty Barnes is going to be enough to outshine what Embiid, Harden, Maxey, and maybe Tobias Harris could bring to a series here. So that's what I'm going to say. Okay. Harden definitely has a lot to prove when it comes to his playoff success, so this will be a good test for him against a scrappy defensive team. But I got the Sixers winning at 6. I could see it go to the 7, though, but give me the 6. All right, so now, Hayden, we're going to move on to the second round here, and we both have the same second round matchup. It's going to be Bucks versus Celtics, Sixers versus Heat. I'll start off with the Bucks and Celtics, and I'll go first since you're the Bucks fan here. The Celtics and Bucks is going to be a close series, man. I mean, you got Tatum and Brown here. Just great players, but I'm not going to spend too much time breaking down the stars because you guys all know. But I think the Bucks are going to win this series in 7 games because I think both games are going to be close, or all games are going to be close. I'm sorry, both teams are going to be competitive. When you look at the bench of the Celtics, it's pretty solid. You're going to have Horford. If Robert Williams plays the series, Horford will be probably coming off the bench or starting, and then you got a guy like Derek White who's going to be productive in this series. And then for the Bucks, you got a guy like Bobby Portis who's going to be great. Pat Connaughton could get some minutes as well. Wesley Matthews, solid veteran. So you look at the benches this series, both are decent. But when it comes down to the Bucks winning in 7 games, I just think in the clutch, when it matters most, I think Giannis is the best player in the world, and I think I'm trusting the best player in the world over Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the clutch. Because I think that's what it's going to come down to, and give me the Bucks in 7.
Every time I stream a Bucks Celtics game, this thing becomes my stress. Either I throw it in anger, I am celebrating with it, and I throw it just whatever. This thing takes the most abuse than anything in my room during live streams, and it's gonna be another long year for it because, especially in this series, because I don't know if I could. I cannot take another 7-game series. I can't. Not after last year. That Nets Bucks series last year was too much for me. It was too much, MG. I don't think I could agree. So I got Bucks at 6. I can't take the pain. But we're a team overall. This is a closer matchup on paper than what people will think because the lineup prediction for what I believe will be Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams. And then Bucks, of course, will be Drew Holiday, Wesley Matthews, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good series, but now we're going to move on here, Hayden. We got the Sixers and the Heat. So, who do you have winning? Why? Break it down quickly.
Sixers in 7.
Okay.
1 seed curse. Better overall team. Coaching is questionable, but Miami's coach I've been starting to question a little bit myself.
Okay. Interesting. Well, as a Sixers fan here, it's gonna hurt me to say this, but I'm gonna go with the Heat in 7 games. Now, I truly believe the Sixers have the talent to even possibly make it all the way. I do believe we have that talented of a team. Obviously, you look at Embiid. Obviously, you look at Harden, and if he's at his best, that could help us out. Maxi's been great. If Tobias Harris can step up, that's an addition. Matisse Thybulle will be able to play all 7 games in this one. We can have the talent, and I know they got Jimmy, Bam, Hero. I know, but we have a great talented team as well. But I think what it's going to come down to is the Heat pressure defensively and the coaching, man. Doc Rivers, I just don't believe he's the type of coach where in the Raptors series and in the Heat series, both coaches are better than him. And he's choked in the playoffs too many times for me to trust him against good coaches to win back-to-back series in the playoffs against good coaches. Now, I will be cheering on my Sixers even though I didn't pick them to win because right now I'm being unbiased and more logical. But when I do this, when I break down and cover this game on my channel, obviously I'm going to be very cheering on my team. I'll obviously be calling the game unbiased, but I'm going to be cheering on my team through and through. I'll be, giving my reactions and rooting for the Sixers, but I just don't trust Doc Rivers, man. And Hayden, bro, you don't know how many times this season the Sixers lost a game because of Doc Rivers not making the right adjustment, not playing this guy enough, not doing this, not doing that. And he just doesn't do it, man. He just doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Yes.
That was me with Mike Budenholzer in 2019. So don't feel bad. I know that.
I really hope, man, that we win this series, but I gotta go with the Heat. I just trust their coaching, and their defense is amazing, man. Tyler Hero's probably gonna show up. And by the way, Gabe Vincent always goes off against the Sixers. He's a bench player for the Heat, so he's probably gonna average like 40 this series. So But I'm gonna go with the Sixers. Or the Heat in 7. I want to go with the Sixers so bad. I mean, if it came down to how I think personally and my biasness, I would obviously have the Sixers winning it all. But you guys get it. But
we got two different conference finals.
Yes, you have the Bucks and Sixers. I have the Bucks and Heat.
Last year I had Bucks and Sixers, and we saw how that went.
Yep. So
you can go first.
I'll start it off here. I have the Bucks and Heat. Hayden, I have this Bucks and 6. I think the Bucks against the Heat. Yes, the Heat do have what?
I think we could beat the Heat in 5.
Okay. But here's the thing. I think the Heat have a great defensive team. I think they have a great coaching scheme. But here's the thing about the Bucks. They're defending what is theirs, the championship, the king, the crown, the best team in the NBA. They want to defend that. They want to prove that they are the NBA's best, especially in the Eastern Conference. Giannis is going to outplay any player on the Heat. He is finally, we've seen in the bubble the Heat got their win over Giannis. What did the Bucks do last year, Hayden? What did they do? Swept the room with the Heat. And yes, the Heat are a better team this year. That's why the Heat are a better team this year than they were when they got swept by the Bucks last time. But guess what? They're a better team, Hayden. That's why it's gonna go to 6 this time. They're still gonna lose.
No, MG. That's why they're a better team this year. We're a better team, so I'll give them 1 game.
But yeah, so in my scenario, I have the Bucks and Heat. I have the Bucks and 6, and they're going to the finals. But Hayden, you got the Bucks and Sixers. So if it was my scenario, you would have the Bucks winning. Now let's see what's your scenario.
These two teams match up well on paper. Me and you both know they do.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis cancel each other out. Harden and Holiday cancel each other out. Harris, Middleton cancel each other out. I think the winner of this game is going to come down to Brook Lopez for the Bucks, Wesley Matthews, Bobby Portis for the Bucks. For the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey, off the bench, Niang, and Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, so
if he had in this situation, he has to have a good coaching. I have Milwaukee winning, not because of the players and the playing, but because of the coaching. And I have the Milwaukee Bucks winning in 7.
And here's another scenario. Just like the Heat, the Sixers have the talent to possibly beat the Bucks. We have that possibility and that type of talent. But I agree, man. If it comes down to Doc Rivers, I can't trust Doc, man.
Doc Rivers, if it comes down to the coaching, Doc Rivers and Mike Budenholzer, we're both going to be shitty in our pants.
But see, at least your guy recently won a championship and fixed his problems. My guy still makes the same mistakes. Exactly. And he thinks the way he won the championship in 2008, which was 14 years ago, it still works now.
Where he said, if they're running big, we run DeAndre. You saw that, right?
It just sucks, man, because Paul Reed should be playing. But, we don't get into that. But so, we both have the Bucks in the finals, though.
Both troubles is excuses. Most troubles is excuses. I'm like, bro, you're...
So, Hayden, we both got the Bucks making the finals in the East. So let's move on to the West. So we're going to start off with the 1-8 series, Suns and Portland. Suns in 4. I don't really need to do explaining. Hey, shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans, though. Shout out to Brandon Ingram, CJ for fighting. This Suns team is too good. Too good for a reason. It's just Suns in 4, bro.
This in a year. Suns in 4.
Okay, cool. We get to move on very quickly. Respect to the Pelicans for making it this far. And maybe Zion because
we're about to move on to my 2 favorites.
I already know this is gonna be Hayden's hot take series, so I'm gonna go first and let him do all his explaining. We got the Memphis Grizzlies and the Menace of the Timberwolves. I have Memphis at 5. I think the Timberwolves are a great team. They fight hard. Patrick Beverley is a very intense player to go up against. D'Angelo Russell showed up. Anthony Edwards showed up. Karl Anthony Towns did not. Obviously, I don't expect them to be that terrible in the whole series, but it definitely scares me that every time the few times, but we have seen him in big games only a few times, and he hasn't yet to really show up.
So you're saying he's Julius Randle?
I didn't say it, but I wouldn't lie to you if I didn't say I was kind of thinking that way. Because Towns just, it was just a bad performance. I still love him, still think he's a great player, but I'm gonna go Memphis at 5. They just play great as a team, and as great as the Timberwolves are, this Grizzlies team play together. Ja Morant is a freaking closest thing you can get to a superstar if he's not already one. You got Desmond Bane, one of the best role players in the league. Steven Adams, an experienced big man who can, give Cat some problems defensively. You got a guy in Jaren Jackson who is up there in blocks defensively. He's just amazing. You just got so many great team players on this Grizzlies team. I just can't see Memphis beating them. I'm sorry, I can't see Minnesota beating Memphis. I just can't see it. Give me Memphis at 5.
I love both of these teams. These are my two favorite teams in the West, the T-Wolves and the Grizzlies. I love the Grizzlies more because of Ja Morant.
Okay. But who you got winning?
I'm sorry. If the Grizzlies struggled without Ja Morant, this series will be closer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going Grizzlies in 4.
I thought you were going to say the Timberwolves because you had a hot take about them going up against the Warriors and beating them. I thought you were going to have Memphis still winning, but a 7.
Oh, this team does not. Oh, dude, if I was hoping they would get the Warriors, but I can't. I can't see them beat Memphis. I just can't. I could see them beating the Warriors.
Okay. Well, so Memphis for both of us advancing. So, next series, we got the Warriors going up against the defending MVP, Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets. Who do you have in that series?
I'm going Nuggets in 7.
Okay.
Luka Doncic is not playing game 1 for sure. He might not play game 2.
Wait, no, the Nuggets play the Warriors, not the Mavericks.
Shit. Anyway, I'm tired, okay?
We'll get to that series next. We'll get to that series next. But Warriors and Nuggets, not Mavericks and Nuggets. Warriors and Nuggets.
I almost said 3. No, Warriors in 6. I think, honestly, without Jamal Murray, without Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, who's stopping Steph Curry?
If Steph Curry's healthy this series, it's going to be ugly.
Which I've been seeing he's going to be. Who's going to stop Steph Curry? Who's going to stop Draymond Green, Klay Thompson? Who's going to stop Jordan Poole?
That's a good one. Yeah, I had the Warriors winning in 6. Steph, his first game might be a little bit rusty. Might even be his first 2. But I just think when Draymond Green is going to be the defensive anchor, when he's going to be fully healthy this series, he leads the Warriors to one of the highest defensive ratings when he's on the floor.
Oh yeah.
And Jokic just can't do it all himself. He's good. If Jamal Murray and Michael Porter were playing, that's a whole different story.
Very different.
Because we might be talking about a whole nother different ball game. But I'm just gonna go with the Warriors here. Steph gonna get his flow back. Klay has been playing well lately. He's been dropping consistent 30-point games to end off the regular season. So I got the Warriors in 6. So. Next. Now we do have the Mavericks.
Now we got the Mavericks.
And Mavericks and Jazz. Who you got?
Mavericks in 7.
Ooh, okay.
This Mav team is playing way better without Kristaps Porzingis.
100%.
They are. And then you got Utah, the playoff chokers. I have Utah winning game 1 and game 2. But then losing 3, 4. Winning 5, losing 6 and 7.
You know what? I actually agree. I know Luka's ruled out for game 1. So that's why the Jazz can go up 1-0. Game 2 is a question mark for Luka. I'll even go close to giving the Jazz game 2. But every single time, and I might go on a little 130-second rant. Every time I trust the Jazz in the playoffs, I I just always get it wrong because they always choke, bro. I'm tired of picking the Jazz in the playoffs. I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell. I'm tired of picking your team. It just never happens for you guys in the playoffs. I'm tired of freaking trusting Rudy Gobert
Why, Jeff?
in the playoffs, bro. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I'm tired of picking the Jazz. And this time against Dallas, when Luka comes back, he will take command of this series. Spencer Dinwiddie will help him out along with Jalen Brunson, Finney Smith. Hopefully, Maxi Kluber can provide some help with Dwight Powell, and they can be solid bigs. Because I think they will be. I like the Mavericks team, anyways. And it just so happened that they're facing the biggest playoff chokers in the Western Conference, which is the Utah Jazz. Utah, your team is chokers in the playoffs, and I'm done.
Clippers.
Yeah, but they don't have Doc Rivers anymore, so they don't choke that much. I mean, today they lost, but that was without Paul George. But
yeah, but still.
But look, the Jazz, the most disappointing playoff team will be the Utah Jazz again. They were the 1 seed last year. They lost to the Clippers without Kawhi. They'll choke again. The Jazz are chokers. But Hayden.
Yes.
Next series, we both got the same thing. Mavericks versus Suns. Warriors versus Grizzlies. I'm going to go first on the Warriors versus Grizzlies. Give me the Grizzlies winning this in 7 games.
You finally will admit that the Grizzlies will beat the Warriors?
Oh, no, this is a definite. And I think because the Warriors have the star power and they have the championship experience in order to win. They have it, but the Grizzlies match up too good against them, and it showed every single game the Grizzlies and Warriors played this year. You look at what Draymond Green is going to do. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Draymond's going to anchor his defense, like I said. Steph, hopefully he's in rhythm, and Klay is trying to get himself back. But if for some reason the Grizzlies just play them too well, the Grizzlies, without or with Ja Morant, play dominant team basketball, have a great flow to their offense, and I think the Warriors' kryptonite will go against them and beat them in a 6 or 7 game. Now, I'll give the Warriors 7 games because of the playoff and championship experience they have, but give me the Grizzlies winning the series, moving on to the Western Conference Finals.
Grizzlies in 6.
Okay. Basically, you probably agree with everything I just said. Yeah. Alright, so next series, we're going to move quickly here. We got the Suns versus the Mavericks. Give me the Suns winning at 6. The Mavericks are a tough team. Luka's going to be healthy in this series, I think. But I just don't think they have enough to beat the Suns. Most dominant team in basketball. Booker played amazing this year. Chris Paul is back healthy and rolling. The playoff 8 and was good last year until the finals. But Suns in 6. But who you got?
Suns in 4. Suns in 4.
You're joking?
Suns in 4. No, I got Suns in 6.
Okay.
I was joking.
All right.
I just want to do it. But I got Suns in
6. But, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm.
I like the Suns team more than this Maverick team. They're more depth-wise better.
Mm-hmm.
Aiton, who had a great year in the playoffs, coming off a career year this year, finally showing up to the hype of being the number 1 overall pick. So I got Suns in 6.
Yeah, and he's trying to get paid, so a good playoffs for him will be good. All right, quickly, you got the Western Conference Finals, Suns and Memphis. Who you got?
You know what? Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Grizzlies in 7.
This is going on TikTok. Okay. Why do you think that?
I love the Suns team. I love this Grizzlies team. The biggest thing for me is what I saw from this Grizzlies team when Ja Morant went down. How they won versus the Suns without their best 3 players. And the Suns only was missing CP3. How they played versus the Bucks blowing us out without Giannis, Holiday, or Menace, and I forgot one of them. This Grizzlies team's a great team. I like them. Suns is still a good team. They can win the 7. Suns could win this. It could go either way. And I've been going back and forth on this probably until the matchup's over. I probably will if it happens.
Yep.
Yesterday I was Suns. Today I'm Grizzlies. I can be Suns Grizzlies. Like, oh, it's just so close. It's that good.
Yep. I'm gonna go with the Suns in 7. I just think they got too much depth. They got Booker. Chris Paul's gonna be a great leader this series. Respect to the Grizzlies, but I just think too much depth. The Suns have the coaching advantage here. They play great defense, led by Mikal Bridges on that side, and it's gonna be a great series. But I just think the Suns. I think they'll get the job done. So you have the Grizzlies and Bucks in the finals. I have the Suns and Bucks in the finals. So I'll start off with my series and my scenario here. And my NBA champions in the 2022 NBA Finals, the rematch. And we'll go to a guy who has been in this league and has done a lot of great things in this league. A guy who is in their 20s. A guy who is a good scorer. Now, we got a lot of good scorers in this series, right? A guy who's made the All-Star game this year. A guy who, at one point in his career, helped his team get the 1 seed. So, like I said, it could be either guy. My 2022 NBA champions, the Phoenix Suns, in 7 games.
Fuck you.
I think the Suns are ready to win it all. Now, I could definitely see the Bucks winning this. I just think, man, the Suns are so dominant, bro. Booker, Chris Paul, what he's going to be able to do. And I know everyone's going to come at me or hate us for I can say, but Drew Holiday did this to them in the playoffs last year. But it's revenge time, bro.
Knocked away so in my house.
And we got to remember, like, it's not like the Suns
throws it down.
And it's not like the Suns are not capable of winning. Remember, they had the Bucks up down 2-0. They are capable. They choked it, but man, I think it is time. The Suns will win it in 7 games, man. Finals MVP's gonna go to Chris Paul because of his leadership.
Yeah. You know, if that happens, I won't be as mad as I would have been last year because we won it and I saw it and I'm happy. And honestly, if it's not my team, I would want it to be the Suns or the Grizzlies. So I'm not mad. Now, I got Bucks Grizzlies. I got a unique one for the Bucks. I'm going Bucks in 6 because of the playoff experience and finals experience.
I respect that. And if it was your scenario, I would go the Bucks in about 6 or 7 as well.
This Grizzlies team could take us to 7, and heck, they could even win it all.
I think the Grizzlies, too. I think they could win it next year, definitely.
I think they need the playoffs experience before they win it all.
And you know what? Hey, I have an idea.
I think this is going to be the Suns of last year, this team.
I wanted to do the award predictions this episode, but instead, I have an idea. You guys check out our TikTok. I want us to do our award predictions there. So at some point in the next few days, we all can drop our award predictions on the TikTok. So that was our playoff predictions. Hayden, what else do you have to say? Anything else about the NBA, or what else do you have to say?
Sammy Watkins and Volkov.
But so check out our TikTok, and obviously for like other episode clips and stuff, we post on there every few often. It's kind of a newer TikTok page, so we don't have a lot on there yet, but we'll keep posting. You'll see our award predictions and stuff. So Hayden,
yes.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get off this episode? Anything you want to say?
Can the Brewers please fix their pitching? Please. They're causing me heart attacks and I want to kill them.
That's tough. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out both of our channels, like in the description here. We'll be live on both of our channels throughout the whole NBA playoffs, the entire NBA playoffs. So check out our channels for NBA content, live streams, all the good stuff, man. He'll be covering the Bucks. I'll be covering the 76ers. Obviously, that's our favorite teams. And hopefully, we'll get B-Up and Isaiah back on for the next few episodes. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our BIN Podcast, NBA playoff predictions, baby. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Everyone watching at home, appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think about our playoff predictions, baby. But that's going to end it off here for us. Leave your feedback in the comments section. Do all the great things you guys do. But we're going to close up the episode here. And we got to keep Isaiah's tradition going.
Thank you.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, piss off cunts.